Hello pupils of the 9th grade, it's time for English lesson. Today we are starting with two new topics. The first one is Unit 8.4, Give Earth a Chance, and the second one is Unit 8.5, It's a Small World. Let's start with the first one, Give Earth a Chance, on page 112. The title of the text is The Greenhouse. What is a greenhouse? Have you ever heard of the greenhouse effect? What do you think it is? There are some main points in this text, and they are: what is it? The second one is the problem. The third one is greenhouse gases, and the last one is the solutions. To understand better the text, you have to listen to the CD, and then we have to do the exercises related to this text. Listen it.
Unit 8. 4. Give Earth a Chance. Read. B.
The greenhouse effect. What is it? The greenhouse effect is actually responsible for life on Earth. How does this happen? The Earth's atmosphere contains some gases which are called greenhouse gases because they operate like the glass of a greenhouse. These gases trap some of the sun's heat and prevent it from escaping back into space. In this way, the planet's temperature is kept at a safe level, around 60 degrees Fahrenheit. The problem. The amount of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere is increasing because of pollution, and as a result, the greenhouse effect is becoming stronger. More heat from the sun is trapped in the atmosphere, and this is making the Earth warmer than usual. Scientists predict that if this continues, the temperature will rise by 2.5 to 10.4 degrees Fahrenheit this century. This global warming will cause changes in the weather. Despite the fact that warmer weather is needed for growing crops, it could also make the ice at the poles melt. As a result, the sea level could rise, causing catastrophic floods. Greenhouse gases. The greenhouse gases which are mainly responsible for the problem of global warming are carbon dioxide, CO2. This gas is responsible for over 60% of the problem. CO2 is produced by burning fossil fuels such as coal, oil and gas to produce energy. For instance, smoke and fumes from vehicles and factories contain CO2, which pollutes the air. Methane. This gas causes about 15% of the problem and comes mainly from fertilizers and rubbish from landfills. CFCs. These gases are responsible for about 24% of the greenhouse effect. They do not exist naturally but are man-made. CFCs are mainly used in fridges and aerosol sprays. The solutions. We must cut down on fossil fuels. Environmentally friendly sources of energy, like the sun, wind and water, should be used a lot more. Although we can't shut down factories, there should be stricter laws to prevent them from polluting the environment. Forests must be protected because trees absorb CO2. Fertilizers should be used less. We should try to produce less waste. Lots of things that we throw away can be recycled. The use of CFCs should not be allowed.
Okay, now you have to do exercise C on page 113. You have to read the text again and answer these questions. You have to do this exercise in your notebook. Now let's continue with the explanation of grammar. Although, even though, despite and in spite of. Although, even though, in spite of and despite are all used to show contrast, but there are differences in the structures used with them. They are used to introduce an idea which is in contrast with the idea the main clause expresses. Although and even though are followed by a clause, subject plus verb. For example, although it was raining, we went out. Or, even though it was raining, we went out. In spite of and despite are followed by a noun, a possessive adjective, or an ing form. For example, in spite of or despite the rain, we went out. In spite of and despite expresses a contrast between two things. They are prepositional expressions. Here you have some other examples. Now you have to do exercise B on page 113. Write the sentences in two different ways, using a though or even though and in spite of or despite. You have to do this exercise in your book. Okay, now let's continue with the second lesson, 8.5, on page 114. The title is It's a Small World. What does it mean? There is a connection between people or events in different places. In this unit, you are going to read the text. These boots were made for walking. After you read it, you have to do exercise B. Read the text quickly without paying attention to the missing sentences. Which of the sentences below best summarizes the text? You have to circle the correct one. A. Dave's journey was peaceful and uneventful. B. Dave's journey was adventurous and challenging. And C. Dave's journey was dangerous and unsuccessful. Okay, now let's continue with exercise C on page 115. You have to do this exercise in your notebook. 6 sentences have been removed from the text. Choose from the sentences A to G the one which best fits each gap 1 to 6. There is one extra sentence which you do not need to use. Now let's continue with the vocabulary. Match the phrasal verbs in the text with their meanings A to F. I'm doing this exercise, but you have to learn the phrasal verbs and then you have to write down sentences with them. Let's continue by solving this exercise. Wear out. The first one is matched with C. Destroy by using too much. The second, set out, is matched with A. Begin a journey. Turn out with D. Prove to be in the end. The fourth, pull through, is matched with F. Recover. The fifth, made up with, is matched with B. Go somewhere to be with someone. And the last one, go by, number 6, is matched with E. Pass. This is the lesson for today. Have a nice day. Goodbye.